Good morning, Joe. And we're live. Woo! Hey, it's all you, my dear.
It's not time.
It's 9:01.
So how many people are supposed to be here? Let's give them time to get here.
Okay, that works for me. Oh, these all look so good.
Good, take some of each one.
Good morning, Zoe.
You are is your husband as perky as you are?
Nope, he's still asleep.
That's what I figured.
Probably until about 11 o'clock. Mind you, he starts work at 8 a.m. He works from home.
But he sleeps until 11, but he starts work at 8. How does he do that? I need to learn that.
I don't know. I haven't figured out how he hasn't been fired yet, but he's like a top performer in his job.
Because when he wakes up, he's ready.
Yeah.
Now, does he stay up late at night?
Mm-hmm. And I go to sleep at 8:30.
You and I could be roommates.
I would love to go to bed at 9:30.
I know.
Some of us just make it work.
Yep, I'm a morning person. I like my mornings.
I do too. And Wayla is, like my best friend forever. And I don't really think she is. And when I'll call her, go, hey, good morning, I want to ask you about this or that or the other. And you can hear, well, hello. And I have to say, this was not necessarily her idea. I should ask her some questions this early.
Sorry,
No.
I'm just, on this one, it says flag. What does this mean?
I'll put it right back.
What's that mean?
New.
New.
It's a new listing. An N means new. A dollar sign means it's been reduced. Or there's been a price change. You bet. Come. Okay. Obviously, I do not know all of y'all, so do you mind introducing yourselves? Yeah, you start since you're not kidding. They did that to me in the office meeting, right as I took a big bite of food or something. So Blaine went, okay, yes.
I'm all right.
I've seen you in the other class, I think. Might be
Um,
the one with Thomas.
I got my license in April, but was a teacher, so I didn't start until
right.
June. So I've been for about a month.
What do you think so far?
Great, I got my first listing last night,
Yay!
so I'm really excited about that. I did lose some buyers, so.
It's okay. You got the listing. That's all that matters.
So what happened on the buyers?
They wanted me to list for 0%.
Okay.
And I found out later that they've been in talks with multiple realtors throughout this whole year. And so I think that they're just looking for someone that's willing to work through nothing.
You can't.
And that's what I told them. I was like, I can help you and we can negotiate, but I can't do 0. I have to make a living.
But they were buyers, not sellers.
They were sellers.
Oh, sellers, okay.
But they weren't going to, well, no, they started out as buyers.
Mhm.
And then they didn't want to buy. They were gonna sell and then move in with parents until the market kind of slowed down. So then they were just gonna be sellers. So it was like, if we list with you, would you do 0% and then we'll buy with you when we're ready? I'm like, that's not a guarantee.
Very good. That's a hard lesson to learn. I know me and a lot of other agents. If you choose to give them a discount for referral business, make sure it's the second deal. That way and you're not always bad. I mean, I've seen them, you sell their house and they want you to discount that because they're gonna buy with you. And then they go buy a new construction or something. They're a lot of times they're truly not meaning to be bad.
Right.
They just think, what a great deal, and you're gonna be so happy for them.
Well, it happened with my sister.
No.
Their agent was gonna, listed their house at 0% because they were gonna buy a new construction that she worked with the builder. So she was gonna make that commission. Well, they ended up not going with that builder because they couldn't build quick enough. And so she ended up, they gave her 1% just out of generosity, but they didn't have to give her anything because under their contract, it was 0. So it was just, and I talked to Megan Madewell, who she was just, this isn't, I wouldn't start your business like this.
Mm-mm.
And so it's okay. I know you win some, you lose some, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, and truly, I don't know if they understand that you're going to have to pay the other agent. And our office policy is that you're gonna offer them 3%.
Yeah.
And then it's real easy to back that up and say, now my office requires, and then I have expenses, and then this is how I earn my living. It's all, sometimes, I think, I was thinking about that this morning, it's hard because so many people have preconceived ideas of all this money we make. Even my dad, my 92-year-old dad, and I've sold for 32 years, and probably 6 months ago, he looked at me and said, take that 6% and put it in your pocket. Are you kidding me, Dad? What's 6%? Why do you think I'm 6%? I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take my 2% and pay my bills.
Yeah.
We'll all be happy. And what's your name?
Jake. Jacob, you can call me Jake.
Okay. How long have you been in the business?
I got my license in January. And I've just kind of been looking for the right place. So
When you said the right place, do you mean the right office? Do you mean the
yeah,
right?
broker to work for. So,
Oh, okay.
I'm still new at this. I'm still learning. So I haven't really done any activities yet. So
It's a big decision. And you gotta be to me, you gotta be happy where you are.
yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that.
And you've gotta get a good support system and
Right.
all
Exactly.
that. It's not all about the money because nothing from nothing doesn't help you anyway. You know what I mean? You gotta sell and get there, and it's hard. This chair is not right for me.
Do you want me to find you another chair?
If I fall off, don't laugh. Well, good. That's good. So what did you do before? I'm
I was
fine.
in
Are
automotive
you sure? I can get you a more comfortable
service. So
one.
Did you deal with customers?
What about this?
yes, all day. It's like waves of them, just all day long.
Did you hate them?
Huh?
Did you quietly hate them?
I did my best to not piss them off.
Which if they were having car trouble, they may have,
Oh yeah, there was a lot of,
you were getting blamed for things you didn't do.
yeah, you had to cover for the guys in the back and you had to diffuse situations sometimes. So.
My gynecologist quit. He delivered babies after he had delivered my baby. And I said, what's the problem? He said, I'm tired of getting blamed for everything that goes wrong. All I'm doing is trying to deliver these babies. I didn't have anything to do with how they got here. I remember thinking, this is kind of funny. That's true. You know, women would be angry about what was about, feeling bad and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, okay. And
Gabrielle, it's okay, it's all
that's
good.
pretty nice.
So I've been in the business for a little over a year. I was working with a whole bunch of different rentals, and I have had 1 or 2 buys that took place. I'm working with quite a few buyers right now, and I'm grateful for that. And it's been one crazy situation after the next in this market. So I'm gonna keep my chin up and make sure that my mascara is waterproof so that I don't make a mess of myself.
It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
It really is, and especially with buyers right now, because their hearts are so just right out there. And then when they offer to do anything they can do
Right.
to get it, and they still don't. I know.
But that's okay. That just allows us to build that bond a little stronger so that when later down the line, when they're ready, you know that that's your person, as long as you stay calm.
That's right. It's tough though. Okay, so this is about finding your business. And I did not go through Ignite. I have been licensed and sold real estate since 1989. So I'm on 32 years. I took about 8 or 9 months off when I was going through a divorce, and I worked for a lender, which I thought, okay, you know, that's good because I'll learn another part of this. And the first time we ran into a problem, and I said, okay, how are we going to solve it? And my boss said, we're not. It doesn't fit into the box. And I can remember walking down the hall thinking, Lizzie, no work for me. You know, because we make our money by figuring out how we're gonna put it together, how we're gonna make it work. You know, what's a win-win for everybody. If you take the first, no, it doesn't fit in the box, you're dead. You know, it's like, it's a good idea to call a listing agent and say, okay, what's important? Do these people need to stay in the house after they get their money? A lease back so that they can go buy their next house and they don't have to move twice. That could be the very ticket that those sellers are looking for. You never know, but you've got to ask. You know, you've got to come back. And there's a lot of times that I've gone home and thought about it, and then, okay, I got another idea. Let's try this, or talk to other agents, because a lot of times there's a way to do it. This is the craziest market because so many offers come in so fast. You know, you got to be sure you have a pre-qualification letter or proof of funds if they're paying cash. And, you know, you've got to present the very best offer that you can. Okay, for the expectations that pages thoroughly. Okay, it says that we're supposed to show great role model videos in class and devote the most of our time on activities, but I don't think we have role model videos, do we?
Yeah, I don't know where those videos live, so we're gonna skip the video part.
Okay.
Video portion is skipped for now.
Okay. Did y'all do a mission statement yourselves? Is that something that y'all did, and we can discuss your mission statements? Was that from another class? Okay. Writing. It's a good idea to have a clear mission statement where you know why you're here and what it's going to take to get you there. If you back it up, I'll tell you something interesting. I ran some numbers this morning. I went through I do a coaching company called Buffini and Company. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. Brian Buffini, but I put my information in, it tracks how many, you know, what my average sales price is and how many transactions I've done and where it's come from. My very best refer person is my son. He's 36 years old. And really, when he was in high school and playing football, I was involved. I don't know where y'all are in your life, but I was real involved in like the programs and all that kind of stuff. So take advantage of helping, you know, like with your parents or your kids or your friends or your family, because there's people, you know, and you don't have to say, hi, I'm Kay, I sell real estate. Nobody wants to hear that, I promise you. But you can wear a Keller Williams shirt. You know, there's a lot of subtle things you can do that give them the opportunity to talk to you if they want to. The average sales price today, I asked Jesse, is $320,000. It's mind blowing. As I remember, it used to be $150,000. I don't know how far back that was. But if you look at it going to being a capper, which is basically selling $2 million worth of property, you have to do 6 1/4 transactions, and then you're on 100%. Now that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, you'll look at that check that's 100% for a while before you get it back. At 150,000, we used to have to do 13 to 14 transactions before we would get there, and that makes a huge difference. Of course, the hard part is you've got to find a listing or a buyer, and those are hard. We're talking about right now, my business is just going wild. I'm about to list the 6th property in 30 days, which wouldn't be a big deal, except it is in this market. and it's a ranch, and it's a previous real estate agent. So another lesson there is, don't just take care of your buyers and sellers, take care of the other agents. You may not like them. I can tell you a lot of them I don't think are likable. But when you're working with them, if you stay professional and you stay in touch, a lot of them won't even answer a phone call anymore. You have to text. I don't get that. Y'all probably get that one. I text, don't worry, but you can text them and you'll get, you can call them and leave them a message and you'll get a text response in about 2 minutes. And you're going, yeah, I couldn't say hello. We could build a little rapport here. You can let me hear your voice. No, not gonna do it. So, and I don't quite understand all that, but anyway, but there's a lot of importance to those agents, and I'll tell you another reason why. If you're in a battle for a listing and you've developed any kind of rapport with that agent, she's gonna look at your offer, or he's gonna look at your offer a whole lot more seriously as he presents it, or she presents it to their sellers. And sometimes, and I've done this, I've said, I'm sure that these are wonderful agents. This agent I do know, and this is a good offer. Now, if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't matter, if you've delivered breakfast to them every morning. But, if they are a comparable offer, then sometimes you will get to the top of the heap just because you've worked hard and you're professional and you're trying. So I advise that you always be as professional as you can, dress as professional as you can. Don't, even if they're good friends of yours, try to keep the language right and the focus right and all that. Don't go down rabbit holes that are too far off, because they have to see you as a professional. They just do. And that's hard. I owned a couple of restaurants for 10 years before I went into this business. And I was seen as the restaurant business, working with people. They didn't see me as a real estate agent. It's kind of like, she's fine. She's trying something else. But then after you've been in it for a while and you've proven what you can do and how hard you'll work and that it's very serious, this is what you're doing, then there's a paradigm shift and they see you that way. And if they see you that way, they respect you that way. So that's a great idea. Okay, on my Buffini stuff, my goal every week is 5 calls, that's not much, 10 notes and 2 pop-bys, which I brought some examples. You go by and you drop off something. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be, at one point I did jar openers. These were not expensive. Put a cute little tagline, I'm here to help you if you ever get stuck or something like that. And just always have your card with them. I did these, which are your referrals are always noteworthy, and they're notes, just note cards, blank note cards. But that way, there's all of them. That, just something so they think of it. Because that's exactly what it is. It's being top of mind when we need something. That's these were $1 at Target. Okay, little referral to the part of my business. Put some candy in them, chocolate one. They're not expensive. They sell out fast, but they're not expensive. And then Wayla and I did client appreciation party at the water park. We did it for like 4 years, and then they wouldn't let us do it last year. They wouldn't let us do it this year. But she would invite her clients, I would invite mine. Our businesses are not together. We've just been friends for a long time, and we work a lot alike. And so we would have 300 or 400 people, and it still wasn't packed. And then the last year or two, we got instant cameras, and when people came in, we took a picture of them, and then we had them address an envelope, and it was an instant print picture, so we just put it with the envelope. And then after it was all over, we came back, wrote a note card, so glad you came, so much fun. And they're surprised with this picture. So it's any way you can touch them is a good idea because they'll remember that to their friends. Does that make sense? I mean, the marketing on it is pretty fun, really. Until you get COVID and then you can't go back for a couple of years evidently. Okay, do y'all have any questions on any of that? I mean, somebody needs to have questions because this is all. Okay. If you will do, and Command is fabulous. I've never really learned Command. That's old dog, new tricks. I want to learn it.
I
Sorry.
have to say the Command has brought a new light to me. I'm gonna have to talk to Diana about a 500 error code that I keep getting when I'm trying to have emails transferred, but it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of good with that.
There's a lot of good stuff in there though, right? I mean, they'll build you campaigns and all that, don't they?
Yes, they
Command?
do. And I will say right now, they are breaking things because for Mega Camp in August, they're gonna roll out a lot of things, which means they're in there right now working on so much. So things are, we've noticed, breaking and being fixed. And Tuesdays are a big day for that, I've noticed. So if you notice something's wrong on Tuesday, they're working on it, I promise. But yeah, things are a little wonky in there right now, but it's about to get really, really, really good.
Mega camp, what's that?
So have you heard of Family Reunion?
Yes.
So that's in the fall, in February, I think, usually.
Seems right, yeah.
And then Mega Camp is
Yeah,
a very
Valentine's Day.
similar situation, but they do it in Austin every summer.
Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome.
It's $600 and something to go.
That's cheaper than family reunion, right?
Yes, Family Reunion, they do it, it's a different place every year. I think the last time they did it, it was in Vegas. No, it was in Dallas last time.
It was online this past year because I remember I checked
I paid for that and then we had that freeze and all.
Yes.
That happened during there.
Yes.
I never did go back and get,
Yeah, I watched
Maybe
them.
it's-
My mom was good and nice enough to like get me through the family reunion thing. And so I watched a lot of those to kind of kickstart myself, but
Yeah.
it was a nice time because there wasn't any like I was just laying there doing nothing, but most of the time I didn't have internet, so I couldn't really log on.
That was
and
my
watch it.
fault. That was right
So I
before I
was
got hired. So Jesse sent me all the codes and I was supposed to watch it and I had COVID and I didn't have electricity. So,
That's awesome.
so I was like, I'm not watching these, Jesse. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I watched a couple and I'd watched like 20 minutes of it and I was like, I'm gonna come back to this one. And then I never went back.
you know, when you're there live and they have the breakout sessions, that's not the
Yeah.
best because I think Gary Keller's deals, I mean, the general sessions are fabulous. There's a lot to learn. I mean, the biggest thing is to know that everybody does it different. Everything makes it work. You'll look at agents and go, how the heck do you find your car keys in the morning? And they'll be a really big producer and you're like, I don't know how you did that. You know, one of my first deals was with an agent that I still think is one of the laziest people I've ever met. And I was running we didn't have all the scanning emails. You know, you had to run the docs to people. And I can remember walking away from her house one day going, why am I doing all this? But I was new enough. I was so grateful for a deal. It was like, okay, what else can I do? We used to have to go pick keys up in different offices to show the houses. And then you'd have to-
Wow.
I know. Show 10 houses, you'd have to go pick up 10 keys
Oh my
and keep them
goodness.
separate, you know. And then
Label them.
Yeah, then you have to take the keys back.
And now we have the super e-key, so easy. I remember my mom used to have a little, it was like a little black
Right, yeah.
thing, you had to like put it up. I remember she had that and then recently it was super, and I was like, oh, technology.
I got a call on one of my listings and this guy said, I just sold a bunch of my property. And I didn't know if he was an agent or who he was, you know, people don't know. And he wanted to go see this house that I've got listed. He thought he might look at it because he's got all this money and he owns a couple of houses in the neighborhood. I said, okay, are you an agent? No, but I'll just use the lockbox. And you know how you think, good luck. I don't know what lockbox you think you're gonna use.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the super app, you ain't getting in.
Yeah.
So you might want to rethink that agent idea for getting in and all that. You know, we offer them E&O, errors and omissions. People don't think about that. I mean, sometimes they think that we do nothing but open the door. And we do so much more than that. And you've got to see your value so that they see your value, you know? Of course, usually when you're working with a buyer, they're thinking, well, I'm not paying her anyway, so why not? And when you're working with a seller, it's like, but we could sell it, we don't really need you, but they do. There's just so much else that plays into it that people don't think about, you know? What if everything goes wrong? Everybody's gonna look at you real fast, and you're gonna keep it from all going wrong, you know, you're gonna make it work.
And on
So-
average, houses sell for 35% more with an agent than they do for sale by owner.
I
And you
love
can't
that.
list it on the MLS if it's not an agent, right?
Mhm.
So, and that's where most people have the search function to like just send people houses from the MLS. If it's not on there, they're most likely gonna miss it.
Well, in this market, people think that they just, you know, all they have to do is put a sign in the yard and it's over. And that's so far, I tell you, you know, in honesty, a couple of years ago, my daughter has a house in Sanger, she teaches school there. And she had a house in Denton from when, you know, I first got in the business, I made sure both of my kids had houses. And it was rented, she was out of the country for a while, teaching English in Mongolia, she's a missionary. So she comes back, she buys a house in Sanger because she's gonna teach there. And she has this house, I mean, our neighborhood sells so fast, it's ridiculous. And her brothers managed it for her. So I said, you guys go ahead, you know, y'all sell it. And when you need a contractor, you need help, I'm here. A month, nothing. Nothing happened. I said, okay, guys, y'all ready to cap rope this and Mama will put it in the MLS. I don't think y'all are getting there. And sure enough, we put it in the MLS. It was sold within a week to an investor, not even a home warranty, nothing. And this has been a couple of years ago. Now, she's not like her mother. She's very practical. So she took her money and basically almost paid her house off that she lives in now, and she's young. So that's really a cool thing that she had invested in that first house. And now she's got this really cute second house and she's pretty well paid it off. I myself would have been on a great trip. I'm just saying. I would have thought.
Experience.
Found money. I'd have been in Italy waiting for your mom.
Yeah.
Found money. Why would you put that on the note? Come on, I'll pay it off. I'm young. You know what I mean? That's how I would have looked at it. Anyway, she was smarter than I am. Okay, on page 7, they have the 10-4 activities. Have y'all, this is supposed to be done in every class. Have y'all done that? Where you add 10 contacts, 10 connections, 10 notes. I'll tell you a great way to get some of your notes in. When you go on a listing appointment, have notes in your card. Have it addressed. Walk out of there, fill out the card, you know. So nice to meet you. I appreciate your talking to me today about your house. I look forward to helping you sell it, whatever, you know, from the conversation. Throw it in there, stick the stamp on it, have it mailed before you get back to the office so that they get it tomorrow. They're really impressed, you know. If you don't, you will be too busy to think about it again. Or you'll think about it 4 days later. You know, by then you may already have your sign in the yard. So you've missed that opportunity to kind of, you know, nail a little extra, I'm such a good guy and I really appreciate you. Because that's what you want them to know. It's true. But that's a great way to do your notes. And then, you know, of course, ask them if they've got anybody to refer. Yes,
For the
ma'am.
notes, do they have to be handwritten or is like any other way of like touching them okay? Like a text message, an email, or I don't know, like, does it have to be a kind of like written?
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. I don't know about you. I get a lot of texts and I'd probably glance at it and go, oh, that's nice. And that's it. If I get a card that is handwritten in the mail, I'm gonna open it. Heck, I've opened some of those stupid, I wanna buy your house, where they call me by my first name. I'll open it. It's handwritten, I'll
I'm
open
the
it.
complete opposite. Like if I see that it's got like, if I already know exactly like the font of the I want to buy your house, you know, or that's because my parents have them all the time. I'll just like rip it up. Okay, next. But I do like the little handwritten notes. Like I saw KW, like you sent one,
Yeah.
and then a few others sent one, and I was like, that's so cute. So,
Well, and you can put your, you know, put your card in there. Because it really is being top of mind. And maybe the next day they have a friend walk in and, you know, to their house and say, hey, I'm thinking about looking for a house. Do you know anybody? Now, maybe it just goes in the trash, but that's okay.
I sent a note to my neighborhood. I live in a small neighborhood, and I sent a note out to them and put like a QR code for my Facebook page. And so I had like 4 people that in my neighborhood that I don't personally know that have like liked my Facebook page now. So that was really exciting.
That is.
So you just bought like little,
Yeah, I just bought like the ones they have down there. You can buy them. I just bought a stack of them.
and then you just put your little QR code, like printed it and.
I mean, then I wrote like a note, like, hey, I'm your neighbor. I'm new to Keller Williams, you know. And then put my business card in there and a QR code. Like I just printed them on the like labels
Uh-huh.
and just stuck them to the cards. So I've had 4 more people, which is, you know,
Yeah,
more than I had before that.
building the connection.
That's brilliant to say I'm new to Keller Williams. They don't have to know how long you're licensed.
Right.
No one, I don't think anybody will ever ask you that or care.
Mhm.
They just, you know, I'm now a Keller Williams realtor. That could say you've been licensed for 100 years. You know, that, I don't know, some people are very okay with being new and some people are not. And so the best thing is to be honest, but, you know, it's like we're all under Rebecca Ray. She's our broker. And so when you say my office or my company has sold 10 houses in this neighborhood, you know, we sold 10 houses in this neighborhood, it doesn't have to be you. It can be the strength of your company. And that's part of what you're paying for, so use it. You know, I've been with a lot of different companies, and I'm a big advocate of being with a big company. A brick and mortar. I don't understand the, email, the internet companies. I don't understand that. Where do you drop off checks? Where do you go by to leave something? How do you come in and out? I don't know. I know that I went with a smaller company here in town, and I thought it'd be so easy, and I knew so much anyway. And I never worked so hard or spent so much money. I mean, you didn't have a phone line, you didn't have a piece of paper, you didn't have somebody that would help you. You know, you better get to the office and run and find that, because nobody's gonna go look in your office and get it, you know? So there's a lot of value that you don't always think about. Okay, so you know to do that, add contacts, add connections. That's really pretty easy. I mean, just talking in a grocery line, you'll hear people talk about real estate. So jump it, you know, hi, oh, really? And then, like I said, and I don't have a lot of them, but if you have Keller Williams t-shirts or a name badge, that kind of thing, you'd be surprised how people will. I had a Cappers t-shirt on once, and I didn't even think I'd say Keller Williams Cappers. I just liked the t-shirt. And I had a woman in line at the dry cleaners going, "Do you work for Keller Williams?" Mm-hmm. You know, and for a minute I'm like, "How'd you know that?" oh yeah. So take your cards, be nice. I'm not always as nice as I should be all the time when I'm places, but I should be, because you gotta build rapport. It used to be your face and everything was all over the newspaper, and everybody read the newspaper. So that helped too. And I think the putting your information on the back of your car is brilliant. I haven't done it again. I did have it. Because people stopped at a light. On the sides, I don't know that it matters as much. They just know you have something written on there. But if you have it on the back, then when they're stopped behind you at a light, they'll read it. Doesn't mean that they pay any attention to it really. But then maybe they see it 2 or 3 times and it clicks something. My daughter, when she was in college, worked for me, and I had a cruiser, and it was all decorated up, right? And she drove it. I mean, it was right off for me, gave her a car, it was great. So then I can remember telling her I was going to take it, and she said, "Mom, you got to be careful how you drive. Your name is all over the car." Don't cut somebody off or go fast. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Virginia Williams, I don't know if y'all know Williams. She used to have her stuff on her car, and I think her family made her take it off because they kept getting calls that she was cutting them off and turning from the wrong way and all that. So I think she took it off. That was the story. Okay. Page 8. Begin by saying affirmations and messages out loud. Opportunities come easily to me. You do have to put yourself in the right frame of mind. That's really true. Perception is reality. How they see you, how you present yourself, how you feel about yourself is how they're gonna react to it. If you walk in and go, no, and I don't know that you would want to, but I think I can help. You know, they wanna think, it's like going to a doctor. They wanna feel like you're gonna know more and you're gonna take care of them and you're gonna make sure they navigate this all right. And you will, you know, that's your job. But, and you can put people on a drip through the MLS and remind them they're getting the most accurate stuff as it happens, you know? Which, I don't know about y'all, I've had a lot. Now Zillow's probably better now that they're part of the MLS, but it used to be, it was very user-friendly and I'd get calls with 10 houses they found on Zillow and 8 of them were sold. You know, I really have more to do than look this stuff up, just to tell you, but okay, I'll do it. Whatever, whatever I need to do to help. Okay, if you're serious, being serious about being in this business, there's scripts for calling on page 9. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if any of y'all have met Linda and Jimmy, but they are amazing people. And I guarantee you, Linda hasn't worked as an agent in 10, 20 years. I don't know how long, but I guarantee you she still knows the scripts. She knew them, she made them her own. It sounded natural. It was very, very easy. Do y'all want to kind of go over, like page 9, let's go over a couple of the scripts for when you call? Okay.
Yes. Yes, Kate, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Unless somebody wants to ask a lot of more questions. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Who wants to start with one?
I'll start.
Okay, start with one. Great.
You're gonna be my person. So,
Okay.
hi Kay, hey, my name is Gabrielle with Keller Williams Realty. Your name was given to me by a close friend of both of ours, sure, or Lane. And he said that I should give you a call. Is right now a good time to talk for a couple of minutes? Excellent.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Okay.
Bob or whoever.
Yeah,
you say.
sure. Lane said that you were thinking about buying or selling a house in 6 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, is that supposed to be me?
Oh, I haven't any idea. We're gonna go with it anyway, so I'll keep going. And asked if I would please give you a call. He and I both want to make certain that you are in great hands and that you have the very best, so that's why I'm calling. Since everyone likes to know what houses are selling for, I'd like to share my real estate app with you. You can see what's going on anywhere from your street to any place in North America. It's free, there's no cost to you, and I can send you a text to a link. Does that sound good? Great. So if they're buying, have you seen anything that you like thus far? Great. Are you working with any other agent? No? That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That is an important question.
So, if you are, when are you planning to move? Have you listed with another agent? No? Excellent. All right. So, the next step is for us to take or get together. I can answer all of your questions and explain how to enter the entire process or how the entire process works. So, it will only take about 20 minutes. Can we meet today or would tomorrow be better for you? If no thanks. I understand. Just so you know, I have a wealth of interesting and timely information about the real estate market in your area, and I'd love to send it to you. Let me make sure I have your current email and address. And do me a favor, please. If you hear of someone with a real estate need, will you keep me in mind? Great. And after you download the app and try it out, send me a text and let me know how you like it. I'd appreciate that. Thank you for your time today, and please let me know if there's anything I can ever do for you.
That's great. It's important to establish because whoever referred these people to you may not know that they're working with someone else. and they may have signed a buyer's rep with someone else. No, don't get it. You don't want to get in the middle of that. Even if they don't like them or think they're doing a good enough job or whatever, they need to get out of that agreement and then come back. You always want to be nice. Don't ever say, he's a dog, he doesn't work. You know, you gotta be kidding. They're just gonna collect a commission. They're not really gonna work for you. You don't want to say anything negative like that, but you do want to make sure that they can sign an agreement with you so that you can represent them.
What if they haven't signed like a buyer's representation agreement, but they like have like talked to other real estate agents, and like you find out they've talked to other real estate agents, but they haven't signed anything with anybody? Like, what's the ethical way?
I think they're fair game. They haven't.
Signed anything?
Yes, and I'll tell you, you'd be amazed. Okay, take the girl that does your hair or your nails or something like that. They may work with a bunch of other agents, and they probably do. I mean, everybody probably knows 4 or 5 agents. But until they sign with somebody, they haven't agreed to work with that person. So I don't think that you're in
any,
no, and it's gonna happen to you too.
yeah.
You know, you're gonna talk to somebody and they're not gonna have said, they're not gonna have mentioned that they're working with another agent, and maybe they will work with you and maybe they'll work with this other agent, and maybe they don't want a buyer's rep agreement. I work with a lot of really warm leads, you know, where they have been referred to me. I've worked with them before at this point. You know, some people I've sold 4 or 5 houses to. So I trust that when they call me with a need,
But you're the only one.
that I'm the one that they're gonna want and work with. But you know, you're gonna put a lot of work into it. That's just the way the market is. And people can get angry at you because that seller didn't take your offer. Well, you can't tell you. There is no way on God's green earth, because I've asked every agent I know, there's no way to know what that seller wants. No way. So you do your best, you know. And people are going so far over list that it makes it just almost insane, unless you've got cash, you know, and they're willing to spend it. Which I'm not saying I think it's such a bad idea. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. I mean, I think we are where we are. Prices are going to keep going up. Anyway, but yeah. And if somebody refers you to them, then when you make this call to them, it's a warmer call. Because when I hear, okay, Lane told me to call you, I'm like, you know, my antenna are up. I want to take care of Lane. I don't know these people, but I want him to send someone else to me. And then again, it's just my opinion. You stop and you write Lane a thank you for giving your information to Sally Joe. Whether anything happens out of it or not, now you may, I tell you something I did for a long time and I need to get back to it. When somebody showed one of my listings, I would send them a note card. Thank you for showing 1225 Hillcrest. I appreciate it. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. If they left feedback, thank you for the feedback, and I'll put a scratch on it. And Mara Oliver actually got one of those. You know, she's been our OPO for a long time. But she will talk about the fact that it tickled her to death. She still remembers that. You know, but don't take for granted to be able to go forward with the other agents. I'm serious. Most agents do take that for granted and don't focus on them and don't take care of them and not nice to them. You know, it's just a function. You know, you're just the listing agent and this is where I'm at, but I think it's very important to have a conversation and to build rapport with other agents. Just is, and then maybe you'll get them over here to Keller Williams. They'll be in your downline. It'll be fabulous. The whole story will be great. Okay. Then they've got some more scripts. Here new to real estate, new to Keller Williams. See, I wouldn't say that I'm probably new. Yeah, I've become a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. That is a great script. That doesn't tell them anything other than you are with real estate and this is where you are. I think it should be a big deal that, you know, that you haven't done it, enough transactions. Because all of us will help you. You know, I remember the first time I had someone who wanted to write an offer. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I was lost as a goose. So I went into my broker's office. It was a real small company. And I said, what's writing an offer? What am I going to do? So she came in and said, let me just go over this with you, you know, as if she was helping my buyer. And then she went over the contract and I'm like listening to every word, you know, so that I knew how to write it. But there's a lot of ways to do it and everybody here will help you, that's for sure. Glad to. It's important, like number 3, remind them that you're in real estate. Hello, this is. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. You will do that. You know, you will think you're right on top of everybody. You'll get busy, and you'll realize it's been a month or 2. Now, in my contact mastery and management program, and I'm sure you can do this in command, I go in when I'm making my calls, and I make notes. You know, she's got a grandbaby coming. They went to the Bahamas. Anything like that. So the next time I make that call, I'll say, you know, last time I talked to you, y'all had just gotten back from the Bahamas. That was pretty cool. I bet you're, you know, sorry to be home. Let's all go back to Italy.
Are you planning the next trip?
I don't doubt it. Oh my gosh.
Prices are low right now for flights.
Are they still?
I just checked yesterday, like $500 round trip.
To
For
Italy?
December. I'm going in December to see them again, and I saw tickets for like 500, 550, and so I might buy a ticket.
What airlines?
I think it was British Airways, but I just went on Google Flights. I love Google Flights, and then just check, and it shows you kind of like if you are flexible with your dates, you can move it to like 3 days before or 3 days after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Well, looks like I'm going to Italy. in December.
Yeah.
Can you see your mom, a whole group of us get off the plane?
Right.
We thought it was such a good idea.
Field trip.
Oh my gosh, would that not be awesome? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You know, right before COVID hit, I had tickets, my daughter and I were going to see Sting in Vegas. And so I had tickets and I booked it on one of those, you know, not Southwest, but one of those really small deals. And it was $500 for the 2 of us to go round trip, which is great. Well, now I've got a credit on that. I mean, they give me a credit, but nobody could go because, you know, there weren't any concerts or anything that were happening.
And did they reschedule your concert?
I don't know if they have. That was a year ago. And
Yeah,
for
they
a
usually
while-
reschedule it for like a year later or
Yeah.
something like that.
I think they tried and then they had to reschedule it again. Probably now when they schedule stuff like that. it'll
Maybe
really
next
stick.
year.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. And then I had to play that game of rescheduling the airplane tickets
Uh-huh.
and then going back in and saying, okay, I'm not gonna, I just need a credit, you know?
Yeah.
Yuck. Anyway, I was only doing that one because it was cheap at the time. Okay. I know it's been a while since, and I apologize for not staying in touch. I've been growing my real estate business. I don't know if you know Maya Jean Alexander, but when she was new, her voicemail said, I'm sorry I missed you. I'm out growing my business. And I thought, that's really kind of a good thing to say. I wanted to share with you that I have a personal goal to help so many families to get the homes of their dreams, as you already know. I'll do whatever it takes to help people. May I count on you to help me reach my goal? I have tried that and people are receptive, but I don't know that I had them come back and say, okay, I thought of somebody, you know, but you don't know. You throw it out there and you try it and you see, you know, some people would love to help you reach your goal. And some people, you know, are going to go, okay, and hang up. Doesn't matter. You touched them, you talked to them. That's the biggest thing. Doesn't have to be that you made a commission check, but But you did make a contact, and then I do believe follow it up with a note or something saying, I really appreciated you taking my call. Here's my card if you know of anyone, and then just kind of stay on top of it. Now, I don't have the biggest database. I have about 450 people. And I do have, some of those are agents, because after we work, I really try to write, thank you so much. Because I want it to go well, and I want them to remember it went well. Because honestly, it'll make a difference the next time you try to work with them. It's a very warm reception on your offer. So, okay. And I don't know how Rebecca's done this. Rebecca Douglas has built her business, I think, without having, she didn't grow up here, did she?
She grew up here and then she moved, from what I understand.
She's doing a great business. She's always got a big smile. She works really hard. She's a good agent. New to the area. This is so. Do you have a moment? I'd like to share with you some exciting news. I've moved here to Denton, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and I thought about connecting with you because I knew you would be someone to help me get my business going in Denton. May I count on you? Sometimes people, appreciate that you've asked them. Okay. Handwritten notes. I'm assuming that y'all don't have notes to write like they're supposed to be. Okay. Well, and this is exactly what I was talking about. The people thank you for taking the time to chat with me. It was great to catch up. We'll let you know what I've been up to with my business. I'm thrilled to be with Keller Williams Realty, and you really should be. You've got the #1 company, and you've got all the people in here that will help you. And, I think it's interesting, like I said, okay, to reach a cap is 6 1/4 deals with the average sales price, and it used to be 13, 14 deals. So in 6 1/4 deals, you're on 100%. And it's not, I was with Remax at one point, and I liked them very much. They have an international fee, and I think it's 6%. It goes on forever. You can hit 100% in your office, but you're always gonna, every check is gonna have that 6% there. You've got to really look at apples to apples when you compare different companies, because I think you'll find this one will be the best. I think it is anyway. I'm available to you at any time to be an asset or resource to you, your family, your friends. Please call me whenever you have a question or a need that comes up. People love to talk about real estate, by the way. I appreciate you and wish you all the best. When I was first thinking about getting into real estate, Linda McKissick and I were talking, and she was still with Ebby Holiday, this is 100 years ago. And she said, people love to talk about real estate. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Why would people love to talk about real estate? She's right. Give them a chance. Let them know that you're in it. They will talk to you about it. They'll ask you all kinds of questions. Whether you answer them or not, it doesn't matter. The best agents that have done it forever cannot answer every question. It's like, what are they building on this street? I don't know. Are they building over there? Let's see if we can track it down. Come on. There's no way. You see the amount of building going on in Denton? Come on. No way to know. So you just have to research it as best you can. And that gives you another reason to call them back. So that's not a bad deal either. Okay. What active lead generations are important? Can you build your database? Okay, what do y'all think lead generation? What do y'all think activities would be that are important?
Keeping in touch with your sphere of influence, calling them regularly.
Absolutely. If you have family in this area, get them on board. They're a great source.
I like to do door knocking.
Do you?
Yeah, I kind of do.
I bet you're good at it too, because you're cute and you're easy to talk to. You know what I mean? You would be threatening. People would, okay, what do you want to tell me? All of a sudden,
I've been thinking about doing something, but I haven't done any yet.
Do it. What's stopping you? Nothing.
Exactly.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
where do you do it? Do you do like your neighborhood or?
yeah, mostly around Ponder, and I'm consistently in Mansfield right now, so I might go over there and find one of the nicer areas, and go do some door knocking. I like to be able to drop little goodies off, and Facebook is huge. Any kind of social media that I've got going on, I've got a page, I've got two different, I've got a real estate page and two other pages as well that people are added to on the regular that I'm talking to about this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. And then I have people who do refer me, and I'm grateful for that because though I'm not shy per se, having kids kind of puts you on a back burner. They're first. However, I still have to make sure that my business is taken care of. So to be able to make sure that who I am reaching out to are not only just people, but quality people is important.
So what kind of goodies do you drop off? And are these to just door knocking or are these people you know?
Door knocking, I had pieces of paper with just a little bit of snippet of, hey, I'm in the neighborhood, I'm new with KW, or this was beforehand, but this is what I would say now. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood, I'm new to KW. I wanted to let you know that there are a lot of good opportunities. If you're looking to buy or sell, please let me know. And I would love to be able to be the person that you can count on for your real estate needs.
Excellent.
And I drop off, the multicolored bubblegum pieces, like the strawberry and the watermelon.
Yeah.
I drop that off with them.
See, not expensive. Not expensive, but something people will look at. I have a lot of those clear plastic bags, that go on the doorknobs. Sometimes I'll pray that nobody's going to come to the door and just don't come. I've never done a lot of this. I've done pop-bys, which is, stopping by people I know, maybe a little gift. And I really don't think it's as big a deal what it is. Just that, oh, hey.
I think there's like a mental barrier with that because you're like, and even I did marketing for a long time, and so I would do lots of talking to people I don't know, but it's still there's just like some little barrier to like I'm gonna do it.
It's hard. So you kind of have to get yourself in the right frame of mind.
Well, I need to get to I moved to the neighborhood I'm in 2 years ago, and I barely know anyone in my neighborhood anyway. So I need to know more people. I know one other mom with young kids, and that's it.
Well, and I'll tell you, looking at the tax roll records, my neighborhood has turned into 50% rental. So to me, what I've done is written notes to the owners. Everybody's writing notes to the owners. This is an inexpensive area. And I get notes and all that kind of stuff all the time. And my name is Mary Kay, okay? So when something's addressed to Mary, I know we don't know each other because I don't go by Mary. I never have. So, and there's
I
other
don't think I even
people.
knew that was your name.
Huh?
'Cause I don't think I even knew that was your name.
I'm so glad.
Is it hyphenated or is it just one?
It's just Mary. No, it's 2 words, Mary Kay.
Okay.
And my maiden name was Neal. And it was really funny because when I was with Carol, when we were first Keller Williams, one of the girls in the office said, you need to get a pink car and be the Mary Kay of real estate. And I'll never forget, Carol turned around and said, you can't do that. Because my wheels were turning. I thought, hey, wait a minute, we can do that.
But I can do that because I'm also a Mary Kay as well.
Are
So
you?
I am a Mary Kay consultant, so.
Oh,
It's like, huh.
it's kind of a tough deal to tell people I can't buy that makeup. I got teased too much. I mean, I
But it
did.
is
Your
worth
mother named you after her makeup.
But you have to.
No,
It's like, they've only been around for, well, maybe.
no, I'm 65. It wasn't there when she named me, I don't think. And it's a great product.
It is. It's good stuff.
Well, that gives you an end to And if you want to sell your house, or if you want to sell real estate, come in under me.
You can say you know Mary Kay personally.
That's
I mean,
right.
but yes, I do.
Well, there's a lot of ways to play on your game, I think. I'm trying to do kitchens sell houses. That's what I just started as a tagline. If y'all have any ideas, because I think it's a good idea if you've got something that people will remember, but it's a hard thing to do, really.
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, and I love to cook. I'm pretty sure everybody in here at least cooks for themselves, and if not, well, let me make you a meal, I'm sorry. But anyways, so with that, I absolutely agree that kitchens sell the property. And that is probably one of the last places I go, so that I can, if I'm walking through a property, I can immediately start talking about the room here, the room there, living room here, living room there, and I will redirect them away from the kitchen first and foremost, so that when we get in there, and if it's immaculate and perfect and amazing, I can say, oh my gosh, and I'm puffing, I'm not supposed to, but I'm doing it. But anyways, that's shame on me. And then I allow myself then to go, okay, if it's not amazing, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could get a 203K instead of 203B, and you could allow yourself to have new cabinetry and so on and so forth. And I'm talking this property up because, I mean, we're not supposed to allow ourselves to get into the position of saying, this is the most amazing thing when it needs foundation work and plumbing work and electrical work and the roof is falling in on itself. But at the same time, if there's potential, I'm talking about it. So yeah, I agree. Kitchens sell the property.
They do. Kitchens and bathrooms are the best places to put your money. They're gonna update. So, and I've taken staging classes and all kinds of stuff, and I don't visualize it as well as a lot of people do. You know, where you say, well, if you change this or change that. Now, I do know that a can of paint makes a big difference. And you'll be amazed when people walk through and go, I didn't like that color. Really? Okay. Get a can of paint.
Great.
We'll have a
Let's go
party.
to
Buy a
It
pizza.
was like,
Yeah.
buy you your first can of paint.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that, and honestly, people don't think about that. They don't think about how easily they can get it done. So if you have confidence in that and what you're doing, that's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. Okay, so you've got to build your database, because those are warm leads. Those are people that know care about you. Like I say, I track mine. I'm like 100% referral. My business is, and a huge part of that is my son. Now, like I said, when he was younger, I was involved in all the things, and I have a daughter. I did a lot with her too, but I wasn't in real estate. I wasn't in real estate. They're 8 years apart when that was happening. But then here comes Cody, and he's one of those doesn't know a stranger. We've done layovers on an airplane before and met 3 people who know him. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But but he, there's no getting around that his mother sells real estate, and if you're interested in real estate, you're gonna call his mother. I mean, it's not gonna happen, and I have a lot of my database are his people. I'll tell you something interesting. It was a friend of his who wanted to buy this house, and it was a little odd. The house is. It's over on Bell Street. It's kind of contemporary, which, you know, we're just now catching up to contemporary. Didn't do contemporary. And it was listed with someone else. And the agent and the sellers got crossways. And we were trying to work an offer, and he said, they won't even talk to me. That listing's about to expire. Wait until after Christmas. Here's their name and number. I don't even want a referral. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Good luck. Okay. Well, they were German. And Cody knows German and, you know, did the exchange student stuff and all that. And so I called him and I said, Cody, what did I take? I want to take a gift, if they'll let me come see him and see if I can get this house negotiated for your friend. He said, okay, go to the candy store on the square, get this brand of candy and get, you know, lots of it different. But this is the stuff I love. Okay. So I did, and I walked in with the basket of all this candy I didn't know anything about. And they were like, oh, how nice. You know, it just started the whole conversation. And they were like, we don't know why that agent wasn't talking to us. We don't know. I mean, you know, and I don't care. That's not important. That's not, don't talk bad about another agent. Don't ever. And of course, I'm thinking, well, he gave me your information. He stepped to the side. I'm loving this. So we got it done. You know, we rewrote the contract. They were very happy. The buyers were very happy. They were renting in straight up 380. I can't think of it. You know what the Cape Cod house is? Starts with the Peters. Anyway, Providence, right. They were going to rent there for a while. They weren't sure what they were going to do. But we got the buyers I was representing, I got them in and I got the house done. And, you know, don't ever underestimate putting that little personal touch to it. You know, just going in and I'm not your enemy. I love you. I want to make everybody happy here. I represent them, but you know, let's make this work. And it did. I don't know why, but sometimes it is just personality conflicts, guys. There's nothing you can do. I mean, if it is, it is. You know, you do the best you can around it. Okay, benefits of prospecting. Anybody? What are the benefits of prospecting? Now, see, I really have not done the door knocking. Does anybody have any stories of that being successful? I mean, I assume you have.
I have had, and I haven't had it for real estate as of yet, but I've been in sales since I was 18. You can laugh, but I sold rainbows. I've been in Mary Kay for years. I am now in real estate, but my entire background is sales, construction, property preservation.
That's awesome.
And that's what I know. This is why I'm here. So, hi. So with that being said, I had a party set up and it was like the next day and I made roughly $3,000 off of that one.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was because they had a wedding and I was like, okay, usually when I get those kind of things, it is a scam. And I hear a lot about that. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. I'm going to call them anyways because they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because we don't know anybody because we just moved from out of town. I was like, it's got me. I don't know what's got me. And so that happened. And I was like, okay. So if anybody tells you that door knocking doesn't do anything for you, here's a code, throw it up. Throw it up. Yes, it works.
Well, don't just assume that it's because somebody just moved here, that they're not interested in knowing you or your services. It could easily be they get transferred. They have family that want to come live close to them. I mean, you can't just automatically assume that anybody is not viable. Just kind of keep feeding it, see what you can get. It's just all relationships.
About so tell me a little bit about what you say, how do you get their information or a phone number and we were talking about the thank you cards. I have 100 people in my database, but I have 0 of their addresses unless I go back and look at the list for my wedding or something, and that's all family that's not here.
Honestly, okay, and I'm gonna tell you, and I've been told this multiple times, people in your family and who you have grown up with forget that you are a realtor.
Yeah.
Do you know what your great uncle does for a living? No.
Yeah.
But you know that's your great uncle, right?
Right.
Right. So my situation is when I'm knocking on doors, I'm saying, hey, I'm Gabrielle, I'm in the area, I'd love to have a little bit of a conversation about whatever the case may be, and just talk to them. I mean, people are people. Some of them are a little interesting, we're gonna put it that way, so it's nice. And other than that, they're not gonna bite you. They're not gonna bite you. What are they gonna do? Pull you inside and put your hair up against the wall and tickle you till the teeth? Like, no. So, and it's gross, but it's true. I mean, usually not. Now, if you're going into ratty neighborhoods, usually that's more low income. And if they have that mindset, they've probably been hurt. We ourselves have to be strong enough to know that
we have been surrounded by these people for a specific reason. We are not to be unkind to them because of the fact that you might be having a bad day. It's like I have bad days consistently, regularly. But do I allow myself to attack another person due to that? No.
Right.
So I just have a conversation with them. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. My name is Gabrielle. I am so glad to have met you. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of information. Hand them a flyer with credit score information, or print off a whole bunch of stuff that has information about the market, or print off a, hey, I'm hosting a party at the town hall and I'm gonna have cupcakes and tea or Coke and candy. I stay away from a lot of sugar, but you know, I mean, shame on me, both are delicious. So I honestly just talk to them. They're not gonna hurt you, and if they are, run the other way. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't want them to be in your database. 'Cause
Right.
they're crazy.
It's hard. It is hard to build it, and you just have to, you just have to be bold and get out there. And that's a good point. Everybody's got days that are bad, obviously including us. You can work 7 days a week. It's real possible in real estate. So you have to draw your own boundaries. And a lot of times, if you'll tell people up front, my phone goes off at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not gonna get your call. You don't wanna talk to me at 9. You know, I can talk to you at 6 in the morning. You're not gonna wanna talk at 6 in the morning. I'm gonna be going, hello. You know, and that, you just kind of have to set boundaries, and people will respect that. Maybe you don't work on Sundays. Now, I've had agents who don't work on Sundays, and I understand that. I truly do. But when I'm trying to put together a deal, if they would take the call or the email and just respond, you know, that would be very helpful. Some people won't. You're not gonna hear from them. You know, property management people are not gonna talk to you. If you're talking to someone who maybe is a property management company and they've got a house listed on the market, just be prepared, you know. You may not get through, but no one else is going to get through either, so you do the best you can. That's all you can do. But anyway. Okay, do y'all have any questions on anything so far?
I do. I was thinking about it when we were talking about like little gifts and stuff.
Mhm.
What has been the best closing gift that you've given that you're like, wow, this was a really good idea. I like it, or I want to give it again?
Well, that is a very good question, and I ask a lot of agents that too. You know, some people will do a basket. I'm doing those cutting boards.
My
And
mom did the same thing.
does she?
Yeah,
And
she
then
does.
I-
I've seen those. Those are so cute.
I think it's a good idea. You gotta give them something that they will keep. Now, for a while, my daughter was my assistant and I had another agent who was a buyer's agent. And we got denim aprons made that says the kitchen's crew, the person's name across there, and then at the bottom it had my phone number.
Okay.
You know, thinking that people would save those. I can't tell you where mine is.
I want one. I want a kitchen screw.
You do? I mean, it's not a bad idea, and it goes with the kitchen's theme.
Yeah.
You have such a great name for a realtor.
I do, but I really am kind of stumped on how to play off of it again. I mean, I used to be better at it. Now I'm trying to get better again. But anyway, you know, you go through some things in your life and you just shut everything down. And I kind of did that for several years. So I'm kind of getting back there again. But you know, and honestly, I know that right now is a tough time in the market, but you just keep working, keep calling. I mean, it may be, you may go a month without anything that bites. And then the next month you may have 10. That's how this business works.
Dear God, please help me.
Yeah, I do believe, I do have a lot of faith in what happens and how it happens. But you have to realize that it's like if a deal falls apart, go find another deal, you know, or see if you can't put that back together. I'm awful about, I don't want it to die. Somebody breathe life back into this. We got a willing this and a willing that, you know. Sometimes it's the lenders can't, you know, they can't do it. So you gotta just work on it as much as you can. And I don't know, I mean, I like those cutting boards. I think they're a great idea. Now, Wayla even buys cutting the knives.
I think that's what she does. She has the knives and she engraves the little
Yeah.
sort of like her.
Who's not gonna keep that? Those are great, expensive knives. Yeah. You know, kind of to look at it level wise too. Did they sell a house with you and buy a house with you?
Yeah,
It's a
that's a nice
nicer gift, you know, you should do it. And yet, do you see the mortgage company showing up with a gift? See, that's where I kind of go, you know. People expect a lot out of us, I think. But I think it's good to be gracious and say thank you, and especially if you can put something in their hands, you're not gonna get rid of that. I bet y'all have a ton of repeat business.
Oh, yeah. That's right now what I've been working off of is just people that I've referred my mom. And
The
they're like, "Hey,
best.
she's out of town, but let me help you."
You're gonna like me a lot.
Yeah.
She's trained me, I can do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little mini Dolores.
It's about the truth. And I got a cute little dog named Ollie. You know, at one point, my daughter, we've always had dachshunds, and she had the cutest little dachshund. His name was Mac.
Mhm.
And we actually had a photographer do a
These
set
all
of
nice
pictures.
cards.
Oh, I think it's smart.
Yeah.
I think it's
all
smart.
nice cards.
We had Mac on a for a 4th of July on with the flag and a red, white, and blue T-shirt, and I mean, we did a lot with that little
Honestly,
dog.
he gets a lot of attention because, like, for the Easter thing, I brought him, and I have because my mom has Reyes Real T-shirts. So I grabbed a Reyes Real T-shirt, I put it on him, and just kind of like tied it up so it looked like a little crop top on him. And he was at the Easter thing, and everybody wanted to come to our stand because they wanted to see Ollie or pet Ollie. And then afterwards, I just randomly took him to PetSmart to get some stuff, and it brought up a conversation like, "Oh my God, your dog's wearing a shirt! Like, look at the shirt!" And so I use him a lot for marketing.
You should.
He's a
Those would be great
Yeah,
mail
yeah.
out stuff, you know?
And like he's a little golden doodle, so he looks like a teddy bear. People are already like, "Is that a real dog?"
You know, he takes a
He's,
picture.
I can show you. He's 2 years old.
You
And
could
he's
do
pretty
end of
cute.
summer pictures with him. Look at that sweet boy.
Baby.
Now you're just helping me with my argument on getting another dog.
Yes, you need to.
So my husband would be like, well, sorry, I have to now.
Say hi to everybody.
Aw, you say hi to me.
Go over there.
He's obviously really sweet and well trained.
Yeah.
Gentle.
Yeah, I've been, he had like 12 weeks of training, and then since then I've just been trying to keep him as a well trained, because I like bringing him out here and I like him doing things like this, so.
See, you ought to take a picture of him with like a beach ball or something
I
that
wanted,
says end of summer.
yeah,
you know,
that's
or
kind of
back
my
to school,
plan,
or-
is I want to make like a Instagram page and it's like me and Ollie. And so like, I really wanted to get a Cricut and make like little shirts for Ollie, shirts for me, and wear like matching like Reyes Real T-shirts or
That would
things
be
like that.
cute.
That's the plan, but we're starting off slow.
But you know, people do love them. Their animals are so, you know, they're just a sweet way to connect.
Yeah, and it really breaks the ice, I feel like Ollie's definitely helped me with that.
Well,
I take him to showings too.
do you?
Yeah, and I'll just like, I don't take him inside the house, I leave him in the car, but I'll just be like, here's my dog, let's go inside the house.
Church or independent.
Yes.
Well, I know not everybody's a dog lover, but I really am. So
Yeah.
it's a great hook.
Let's take my baby to a few showings. So. People are okay with it.
And then you have a whole team, and being bilingual is excellent. I bet you
Yeah.
have a lot that you deal with on that. too.
Yeah, we just had a presentation for, and that's the thing that I like, for me, I'm definitely getting to know the difference, like a lot of times, like some of my Spanish speakers are newer to buying a house. So it's like, I remember I went to a buyer's presentation yesterday and I spoke about it, I went with my brother. So my brother kind of helped me make sure that we touched on everything. And it was interesting seeing some of the examples he gave for like first time home buyers, especially like Spanish speakers. It's just like, okay, like going to do this versus doing this, or like going like for loans, going to a bank versus going to a lender. It's like shopping here, and giving examples like that. They were like, oh my God, I didn't think of it that way. And so it was interesting, like seeing that. But I'm definitely learning some of the words I've Spanish is my first language, but some of the real estate words I don't say them every day. So it's definitely like remembering, like, oh, that's how you say this.
Let me give a quick deal for that. This is just my opinion again. Refer a Spanish-speaking person to a Spanish-speaking person. That way, they can ask all the questions. They're not struggling to just understand what you're saying. They can actually understand, they can ask the questions they need to ask, they can feel like they were represented and get a referral. It's good money.
And that's what I feel like that's also happened a lot is they'll be like, oh, I spoke to somebody else, but I honestly had no idea what was going on, or I could barely understand half the conversation. And so then they're like, oh, that's what that means, or that's what this is. And so it's definitely,
It's true, well, it's like commercials, you know, it's a different animal, and you've got to realize that sometimes it's a whole lot better to get a referral check than lose it. I've got a commercial building close to the square in Denton, and I co-listed it with Chris. He's got it in lots of deals I can't get into. You know, I mean, I'm not going to join all these other deals. I mean, I've got it in MLS. But the calls we've gotten and the inquiries we've gotten have actually come through the commercial side. And I couldn't have done that. So it's just worth really looking at what you're doing. You're going to represent your people better, and you're going to stand a better chance of actually getting a check, even if it's a referral check. And then go on and find more business because you've taken care of it. I really I believe in that big time. And you've got Monica. She speaks Spanish. Who else does? I know y'all do.
Yeah.
Monica. I think Charlie Stafford does some. I don't know who the lenders are that speak, you know, fluent Spanish.
Yeah, we have a couple lenders because that's kind of what we pride ourselves in is speaking Spanish. So we make sure that like Angel, also the assistant, speaks Spanish, and like some of the lenders we have, we make sure that they speak Spanish as well, so that they can have that clarity.
I can imagine how hard it would be if I didn't speak the language and I was trying to buy a house.
It's a big purchase, and so it can definitely be scary.
Especially in this market. Oh my gosh. Everything is so tough right now. And then you've also got, you know, be considerate of some people are, you know, with COVID and all that, they're still very cautious about how close you stand, whether you're wearing a mask. I usually offer to put a mask on if I'm going into a listing or I'm about to start with a buyer or something. You know, find out what their level is. You could miss the whole thing because they're not comfortable and you didn't know it. You know, you didn't know how to solve that problem. Just putting a mask on is not that big a deal if it helps them. Okay, they've got the sphere of influence. I'm sure y'all understand that. Now, on this, it says like your mortgage company, your dentist. A mortgage company is between a rock and a hard place. They make their money by working with agents. They may pick you, they may not. If they don't pick you, don't beat them up. It doesn't, you know, if you find out they did something, they sold a house or bought a house, because they can't work with everybody, but they do work with everybody to make their living. So again, how you approach it and how kind you might be or helpful or whatever. Maybe they're buying with this person. Maybe they're going to refer the next one they know up to you. You know, you can't beat people up about that because there's no luck. Church members, that's a great area. You know, there's a lot of people and they tend to refer to people they know.
I feel like my mom started her business with a lot of church people.
Did she?
Yeah, so we've always been a huge part of Immaculate Conception. And so she was always super involved. And so she started putting her name on the bulletin that they have that they would give there. And so that's how, I feel like that's one of the biggest things that kind of kickstarted her.
I tell you, I've done like for schools, you know, taking food up there or help contribute when they were having this kind of drive or that kind of drive. You know, just, you want to do it for the right reason, but you also want your name on there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a service too. They may not know. And if they knew that you were a real estate agent, they would have some comfort. I have a next door neighbor and he said, he came over the other day, and I've lived in the same house for quite a while. And he came over and he said, you know, when my daughter finally moves out, I really want to sell my house. Oh, good. I'd love to help you. Oh, well, of course you would. You know, you'd be the agent. And I'm thinking, we haven't even really had that many conversations. I'm assuming he doesn't know anybody. But then there's also people who'll know 15 agents. And so you wanna be the one they pick. And if you're not, you wanna be the one they refer. Because there's always another way to make it work. Okay, my sphere, immediate family. Like I said, that's really important if your family's involved in stuff, that's good too. Because that's where you come into more and more people. I went through a divorce and I kind of backed out of everything. I thought it was awful. It was awful. But I let it affect, in fact, we had a team leader several years ago and he said, you didn't lose anybody but the husband. So go back to all those people you know, because I've been in it forever and had a business. And, touch base with them again. I said, well, I don't think they want to work with me. They were friends of his. You don't know that. Get over it. Try. See where you're going. And that helped me a lot, kind of jump that mental hurdle of it's okay. Cold calling, I've really never done that. I don't know if anybody, the door knocked, has anybody cold called? You did? How did it work?
Not so well. I mean, most of the people, they get calls from everybody, so most of the time they're not interested, but
Were you calling home numbers or cell phone?
both. But I kind of calmed down because this was prior to getting my license, and now that I have my license, I think there's more liability for do not call list. So
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
depending on how you skip trace to get the phone number to begin with, they may or may not filter it for you. So you could be calling people who are on the do not call list, and if they want to be,
Ugly about it.
ugly about it, they can, get you in trouble. So
Is there like a fine for that?
Huh?
Isn't there a fine for that?
yeah,
And then
pretty hefty too. I think.
Yeah.
How much is it?
I'm not real sure. I just know it's quite a bit.
I think it's 500 to 5,000.
Shoot. And it's kind of obvious they don't want you. If they're on the do not call list, they may not. I love it. I've got do not, no solicitation or whatever at my door, which I think is hilarious. At the door of somebody who makes their business by soliciting people. I just don't, I'm not gonna talk to you about that stuff. I'm not good at it.
I talk to them and then give them my card and get their information. And I call them and say, you need a realtor. They have.
Well, and there's lots of ways to get information. You can go through the tax roll records.
Yeah.
Like I said, and if Johnny Joe doesn't live at this address, he lives in California, there's a great person. Start emailing them or sending them letters, Are you ready to get your investment back out? We can sell it with your tenant. We can do, if you have a lease, if someone has a lease that what's the word? If you sell a house with a tenant in there, that tenant's lease has to transfer or they have to agree to redo it. So, just FYI. But a lot of people are doing it as investments and investors are paying huge prices too, because they can't find anything either. So it's not such a bad idea. Okay, so you can do for sale by owners. I tried a campaign for sale by owners. I did not get very far with it, and they were all overpriced and knew everything and thought I shouldn't charge anything. So I don't know if any of y'all have. A lot of people have good luck with them. I didn't. I tried. Have you done?
No. I know. I forgot Eves. Thomas Eves was talking a lot about that he was for sale by owners on their first.
Does he do well with them? I bet he does.
That's
Yeah,
how
he
he
has a
started
great
his business.
I spoke to him about that the other day because I had talked to someone and they said, well, we have this, I asked how they got the price for their house. And they're like, well, we have a friend in real estate. And she told us we could probably get X amount of dollars for it. And he's like, so if we go with a realtor, we're going to list with them. And so I was asking Thomas, like, what are your objections when you hear something like that? He was like, if they're really his friend, then they're appalled that he's doing for sale by owner. They're not going to tell him what price to list it at. So if they're not with that agent, then they're fair game, like go after them. And so now I have an appointment with that for sale by owner
Do you?
tomorrow.
Awesome.
Not, I mean, it's just a meeting, but, so it does, it made me realize, yeah, you're right, because if I had a friend, I wouldn't recommend they do for sell by owner, like, you're gonna have to weed through how many contracts, do you know what to look for, you know? So, I mean, I think there is value in it, even now that the market's crazy and they're guaranteed to sell their house, but I think we just have to sell them on the value of having an agent.
That's right.
But I did talk to him about that because he did say that was the way he built that's how he started.
He's phenomenal. He's got so many strengths. And he's so techie, and I'm being honest, I'm not. Sorry, guys. We're gonna talk one the other. You wanna know about being in business for a long time and caring about people? Like I was just thinking, you know, there were some agents who were in business forever, and they talked about when they went on a listing appointment, they took chocolate and strawberries, like a box of 6. They didn't do anything after that. You know, they kind of warmed up the deal. You know, sometimes you feel odd doing something like that, but sometimes it's worth, you know, take something in that's not expensive. And even if they don't list with you, make sure you do the card afterwards and maybe a follow-up call. Did you list with X, Y, and Z company? Are you still thinking about it? You know, is there anything I can answer that I might not have talked about when we were there? There's a lot of ways to follow up and get back in, maybe. They may not, but you gotta keep trying. Cause you know they're thinking about it. You know, it's like the people you're gonna go see, are they still doing for sale by owner right now?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. So they're showing it. They don't know, and there's no
Well, when I
security.
called, when I asked him like when I could come by and meet with them, he was like, "Oh gosh, our house is a wreck right now. I got to get it picked up." And I'm like,
How are you
Yeah.
gonna get all
"You're
this?
not showing your house right now," is what I'm hearing. So I mean, they have it listed. I think they're just hoping that someone puts in an offer sight unseen. I don't know.
Not gonna happen.
I don't know, but it's in a good area, and so like it won't have a problem selling, but. So when he said, he was like, "Can you come on Saturday instead? That'll give me time to get things picked up." I'm like, "Sure."
Professional photographer, offer them that, you know, because we used to spend a bunch of money on ads, paper ads. Now we spend it on get the good pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all of us have shown a house where the pictures look way better than the house.
I showed a house yesterday that like, my clients were like, oh, we're willing to put an offer right away if this
Uh-huh.
house looks like the pictures. And we show up and the house was like much smaller, but it looked so spacious in the pictures. It looked
I'm
really
like,
nice.
that's
in the
that
pictures.
wagon
Like that lens that makes
Yeah,
it-
I was like, I also looked at it, I was like, this looks like a really nice house. And then you show up and it's still a nice house, but after they saw it, they were like, no, this isn't for us. And so it is crazy how much, at least the pictures get you in the door.
Oh, I saw one where it looked like the driveway looked like it went from here to Integrity, you know, to their doorway, right? And you get there and it's, you know, it's just a circle drive right there on the street, you know,
Yeah.
a busy street. You're kind of going, oh, this is not a good start, but it got my interest.
And then also now that they have what they call the flying cameras,
Drones.
flying cameras.
Yeah.
But now that they have those, like it's really nice because the house I was actually seeing is in Little Elm, and so when I was looking at the pictures, you can see that the lake was really close, and that was an added bonus for my clients. They're like, oh, we're so close to the lake, so it was nice seeing like above, like the view from above and like the lake and everything. So that was something that I know caught their attention.
So invest in a drone.
Invest in a really good photographer that has it for you. Yeah.
That's the truth. I don't do the pictures. I have Cosrob. They used to be part of another company. And they branched out on their own. And I know a lot of people use Hunter. I really never have, but it's a big key to what you're about to do. Because they'll go everywhere. And some of them, like the guys I use, they put them on a whole bunch of websites that I don't even know. I don't care. It's, you know, the pictures are everywhere. So, and then they'll give us a report of which pictures were looked at. Did they click to look farther than the front and all that kind of thing, which is interesting to your sellers. A lot of it is, in my opinion, doing everything you can until you get that contract so that the sellers know you really did everything you could. But sometimes it isn't going to make a difference but in their mind it is. And then a lot of agents, are doing open houses as soon as they list it. Well, that's for buyers. That's to find people who are looking for a house. Rarely does that house sell off an open house. But it gives you a platform to attract people and talk to them. And if your sellers are in favor of it, why not? Maybe somebody else will come back and do it, but normally that buyer is not gonna come through that door while you're doing an open house, unless it's all changed. Usually I take food and make graphics for them to walk out with, and it's old school stuff that we did, and I don't know that people do it as much anymore. I don't have to.
I did an open house. First one I did, and had like cookies and fruit and stuff, and an agent came in and she was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen anyone do food in forever. And I was like, I thought maybe because of COVID, but she was like, that is so nice of you. And that was another agent, but I thought that was.
That's good, because that's her concept, that's her opinion of you. That was a good, and maybe that y'all get to work together and she'll say, oh, I remember you in that open house, yeah. Yeah, who's that? Lori Hauser was doing a deal on staging, and I went to her group. And really, she talked a lot about open houses, and she was phenomenal. I mean, she sets it up. I mean, down to making a toilet paper look like a flower. I mean, she had food. She brought stuff that staged. She sent out invitations to the neighbors. I mean, she did all that stuff. She put a red carpet out front. You're kind of going, it's pretty good. Pretty good, pretty impressive. But, a lot of people, other people in the neighborhood will come by, and that's your opportunity to get their information on your list to keep them up to date. Perception is reality. If you post on Facebook, this house just sold, it could have just sold within the Keller Williams family. It didn't have to be yours. You know what I mean? Keller Williams just sold this house in your neighborhood. Okay. It's a good, oh my gosh, look at how she knows this neighborhood. Just sold the house. It's worth it. It's worth a shot to see what you can do. For sale by owners, I think it's a good idea to make contact, get their information, and keep touching them. Because what will happen is every agent in town will hit them when they first hit the market, and then everybody will move on because they're not going to list, and then they'll decide to list. I'd love to know the statistic on that. Do you know of how many for sale by owners? Thomas would probably know.
I think Thomas said like 92% or something.
It's a very, very, very high number,
Yeah.
very close to 100%.
They have to. I mean, it's like the example of my daughter having a house in my neighborhood, doing it for sale by owner, gave it a month, and then she lists, and then we put it in the MLS. It was gone in a week. Full price, gave no concessions, and this was a couple of years ago, which didn't make sense to me. But it was interesting to me because I always thought that a lot of people looked for houses without agents, that there was a fair amount, but that didn't work. So the main thing is get your database together and prioritize your people. Like your A's, your A pluses, the people who are giving you referrals, even if it doesn't work, even if you don't get a paycheck out of that, but they sent somebody to you. Get them a card in the mail. Sometimes I even include like a gift card, a $20 gift card to Chili's or something. And they go get a drink, depending on how often I hear from them. But I think everybody likes to be appreciated. So anybody can do it. Will work. But that's your goal for the people you have. How well you put in. Okay, I know that this is supposed to go on longer, but unless y'all have questions, I mean, I can show you pop by stuff like we did already. You can do a client party, that's a great idea. You can get your vendors to help you with the cost. Some people do movies. They're opening back up for $150. You can get the theater, and everybody gets a bag of popcorn or something like that. Not a bad thing, but I don't know how much time you have one-on-one with them. You may not need it. You may just need to, then you can call them back and say, hey, did you enjoy the movie? I thought it was great. You know, that kind of thing. It gives you another, if you plan an event, it gives you the chance to touch them several times. You invite them, you call them and say, did you get the invitation? They come or they don't come, and you call them back again, write them another note. So it can give you several opportunities to win, whether they came or not. Like I said, I like the water park idea. A lot of people were doing bowling alleys. How are you gonna talk to somebody swinging a ball down the thing? You know, I mean, I think they're fun, but really, what are you gonna do? Walk around with pizza and say, oh, you did great. Okay, let me get out of your way. Sorry. But, you know, and we incorporated taking pictures of them when they got there with an Instaprint camera and then sending them the card, glad you came, with the picture in it. It's just another way to kind of cement that, you know. As soon as probably next year we'll do it again. But you can have your vendors, you know, like if you're given a lender a lot of business or some business, whatever, ask them to come help you pay that cost, and maybe they want to come and meet the people too. Maybe they've worked with a lot of your people. So when they show up at whatever your event is, they're, you know, those people would be glad to see them, and they may get referrals on refinancing or something like that. You know, it's a good idea to help people build their business too. So anyway, if y'all have any questions, I'd like to answer. If not, somebody eat some of that sugar back there. Yes, sir.
So I'm assuming everybody here's fairly new, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be very value added to hear from somebody like yourself who has decades of experience, and maybe do like a little mastermind right here, like how to find mainly sellers, but obviously we'll take buyers as well, because at the end of the day, it's harder work maybe, but still money. So what are some of the, I mean, I heard like door knocking, I heard some of the scripts that we're going over, but what are some of the, you said 100% of your business pretty much comes from referrals. So that's just,
That's fine.
I mean, and that's networking. And, you know, I would agree 100% that's the best way to find business. But a lot of that comes with experience. You've been doing it for how many years? 30 plus years?
Yeah,
So
30.
you sold a lot of houses. So for every house that you sell, those clients are going to refer somebody who's going to refer somebody who's going to refer somebody. So you start to gain some momentum. But for somebody like us who haven't sold a lot of houses or helped a lot of buyers, how can we get that momentum a little bit faster?
I think it goes back to your sphere, the people you know. Now, I really have not knocked doors.
Right.
Or cold call. But I've been in Denton for a long time, and I've had kids involved and stuff, and, you know, the church. I mean, kind of what we're saying, you're involved with more people than you know, than you thought of, probably. So you just start talking about it. Wear a shirt that has Keller Williams on it. If you don't want to, you know, boil them over with, I'm an agent. There's a lot of ways to do it. Drop them. A great idea is drop them a note with your card in it. You know, I don't know if you know, I've joined Keller Williams. You don't have to say I just got licensed. You can just say I've just joined Keller Williams in Denton. Excited about this aspect of my life and would love to help you navigate this strange market. You'd be amazed how many people would want to call and talk to you about it. And whether you know or not, don't be afraid to say, I don't know, I'll find out. Because it doesn't matter how many years you've been in the business. There's a lot of people who say, at some point you gotta say, I don't know, I'll find out, you know? So that's no reflection on you, but if I was just starting, you might do the cards, send one to Lane. Hey, Lane, I don't know if you realize, I don't know if you know that I am with Keller Williams in Denton. I'm loving this real estate world, but I know it's kind of difficult right now. I'd love to help you navigate. Or if you have any friends, put a card in there. Always put a card in there on something like that. And then give it 4 or 5 days. Hey, Lane, did you get the card? I just want to make sure I've got your address right. Let me make sure that this is the right address for you. You know, you might go over their details. just, it's top of mind. It's just keep touching anybody you can think of. And either they will need your help or they'll know somebody who says, God, I wish I knew a real estate agent, which I would think you'd know 10, everybody would know 10, but not always. That's what I do.
So I guess my other question would be, so what would you expect from these efforts in year one? Obviously, year 2 is gonna compound and get a little bit better, year 3 is gonna compound, get a little bit better. But what rate of success should we expect as far as like transactional? I mean, what was your experience, and maybe, obviously it's probably changed since then, but, I mean, what are you seeing?
I think my first year I sold $1 million. At $100,000 sales price. So, but I knew a lot of people in Denton, and I touched them, I talked to them, and I did get the opportunity. I think I started out with 12 listings, which was insane.
Wow.
I know.
Starting with 12 listings.
But I had been part of, I'd been part of Denton and a lot of business. So I think Linda McKissick told me she did less than that her first year. We're going back 30 years ago. So, and the beauty of today is you don't have to do as many when your sales price is $300,000. The average sales price is $300,000. That's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a $9,000 commission, and even on a split until you get to be capped, that's $6,000. That's nothing to sneeze at. And then you build. And while you're in the transaction, you take the opportunity to say, do you know anyone else who might need my help? Thinking about buying or selling, especially now. And you got to get the sellers because the buyers are dying. They're having such a hard time. And there's no formula as to how you're going to make that happen for them. You just have to keep working. From what I understand, it's like in the first 3 years, and I don't know if it's still true, when I went to real estate school, I remember them saying, there were 30 people in the class, and they said in 3 years, only 3 of you will be in real estate, and everybody kind of looked around at each other. Is it me? Is it you?
10% make it their first year in real estate.
Is that it?
Mhm.
But you get down. I'll tell you another strong thing, just to consider, join a team. Let them give you leads, let them help you get it closed.
So I have a question just based on this, just my personal experience. I just got my license in October. I've gotten 6 things under contract, and 3 of them the buyer has canceled the contract for various reasons. And I'm like, dang it, really? What percentage of people do that? Because I'm like, man, that's a high percentage. That's half of the things. I've just had not great luck with that.
Why did they cancel?
So first one did the inspection, found foundation issues, talked to the foundation company, and the foundation company really scared them. They were like, well, we've done what we can, and I know it says a warranty, but what can you do with the house that's falling apart and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Second one had old pipes. She said she was, she was okay with it. We did a concession, and then it was after the option period. She was like, no, I've just been thinking about it and freaking out. And I'm like, you're gonna lose your earnest money. I don't know, not great. And she canceled it anyway. And then that same client had we had a repair amendment, and she had the inspector come back and look at it, and the inspector said no, they didn't repair it correctly, and so she canceled.
Well, can you go back to the listing agent on that and say this wasn't repaired correctly?
They said we've already spent money on it. This is all we're gonna do. We've got your receipts. Your client's wasting our time.
Interesting. I haven't seen a whole lot of repair stuff.
So
because
they were
everybody's
supposed
afraid
to
of
repair
leasing.
some, I can't remember the name of it, but some thing that supports the roof, like the Perline beam or something like that. And the inspector said they just shoved a bunch of silicone putty up there and it was a mess. And that it was just like not repaired to any quality standard.
Sometimes it helps if you get another opinion on what was done. You know, get one of these roofers who are coming and courting us, you know, they're bringing lunch and all that kind of
Parent
stuff.
roofing, they bring the best lunch.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's what I was
Let
like,
them go
well,
out.
they had, you know, the roofer said it was done right, but then you never know. So she wasn't comfortable and
But if you have a second opinion and they say it was done right and we'll visit with her, that's really not your place to take
Yeah.
that on, because you're not an expert in that. But they need to talk to an expert, and maybe they need to talk to two experts. And if it's really serious, those sellers have got to address it because it's going to show up on the next one.
yeah.
But you've got to take care of your people and what they're comfortable with, and then hope that you get to take them to the next house.
I did finally sell her house.
Oh, good. That works. Well, that's not bad.
Right.
Bless you. You know, one of the fun things about real estate to me, really, if you stand back, is that no two deals are alike.
Mhm.
Doesn't happen. So it really is your skills, you know, that get you through all of it. And sometimes it's just figuring out another way to make it work. And sometimes it's saying, okay, I don't want you unhappy. Let's get you out. Let's go look at another house.
Right. I mean, the first house, I was shocked that she wanted to offer on because I was like, whoa, this house was a mess. And then there, you know, I was like, are you sure? This is listed as fixer upper special. And she's like, no, it looks great. I was like, oh, okay.
Then be
Sure.
ready. Yeah, be ready.
Yeah.
It's just tough, but you can't be the expert.
Right.
You have to know who to call. And sometimes it's calling more than one. If you've got somebody who thinks it's great, somebody who thinks it's not, bring somebody else in
Mhm.
and then let them make their decision. And if they'll talk to you about it, let you kind of work them through it. But you don't want to say, oh, it's really not a problem. And then 2 years down the road, it really was.
Right.
They will come after you and Keller Williams and anybody they can. It's a sue happy society, it really is.
Right.
I
I've
haven't
just
had a problem.
recommended like, you know, we can get somebody to look at it. And they're like, what's this? Let's get somebody to look at it.
Well, try and give them several names so that when they pick whoever they pick, well, you didn't tell them to call that person. You gave them several names, and that's who they
Mhm.
picked.
Yeah.
You gotta be real careful about stuff like that.
But how often is that I've just had like bad luck with that, or is that pretty common for people to just cancel the contract? I mean, I know it happens, you know, but I'm like 50%
I'm not
of my
seeing a
it's
lot of that.
happened. Okay.
But you may be getting the nose out of the way. I mean, I think it's awesome that you've had that many in contract. That's a good thing. You can't help that the condition stopped it.
Right.
Out of your control. And that's a hard thing for agents to learn. This is not within my control.
Right.
I can't make it. I can't make it work or not work. But, yeah, no, I just feel like you got that out of the way, go for the next one.
Okay.
Because you're doing good if you're writing them and getting them there,
I like that advice. Thank you.
especially in this market. You're doing good. But golly, the buyers are heartbreaking because they try so hard. And the sellers are just hard to find. And some of them are very rude and want reductions and all that. You're not, just because you may be working 10 offers in the first week, doesn't mean that you're not doing your job. I mean, sometimes it might have taken months and months to get those. This condensed insanity, you're earning your money. Don't let them tell you different. Don't let them try and tell you that because it happens so fast, you shouldn't be paid. Not true. Not true at all. You're working harder, faster.
So what are you seeing that's that's getting, I guess it's different for each person, but what's getting accepted in this market? Because I have nothing for me in the last 2 months or.
I think what's getting accepted is cash.
Yeah.
Because when they go over list, you know you just wiped out the appraisal problem. If it doesn't appraise, it's not based on a loan, it's cash.
Yeah.
So that's, and unfortunately, to me, I think it's kind of sad, because there are first-time homebuyers who really want a house, and they can't do cash.
Yeah.
It's like so rare to find someone that's got that much cash available.
Have you worked with Homeward? So
I just closed a deal with them.
Is that pretty easy for like first time home buyers? Is that something easy for them to use? You know?
Yes,
It is.
yes. I thought they did great until the end, and then there was a delay in getting it funded. My seller got paid, but it was a week later before I got my check. And I had to kind of raise hell and say, hey, remember, there are some people who still haven't been paid. We need those checks in the mail. But for the buyer, the other agent was a Keller Williams agent out of Louisville. He was great. He was very, very good. And Homeward was very attentive when we were negotiating. We had 8 offers, 4 of them were cash. This was ridiculous cash to me. I mean, it was almost 40,000 over list, and you're going, that's insane. They have a long option. You have to give them like, I want to say 6 days for option, because during that time they do their own in-house appraisal to kind of have an idea of where they're going to end up. And they do an inspection. They're cash, but they do a lot of things as if it was a loan. And then once it goes past the option period, you have to use their title company in Austin. My sellers were already moving and they wanted to give me a power of attorney. I've known them forever. I mean, the husband and my son grew up together. Which I don't know how Rebecca would feel about us doing that, but I said, okay, I'll do that for you. And Homeward didn't want a power of attorney. They send out a mobile note. But they paid for the title policy.
What is Homeward?
It's a group that they come in and they pay cash for the house. And then they sell it to the buyer. And if the buyer uses Homeward for their loan, from what I understand, there isn't even a fee to them for using that service.
So how do they get paid?
Well, they sell a loan. And
Oh, okay.
if you don't use their lender, according to the other agent, if you don't use their lender, then they charge a 2% fee to the people.
So is Homeward's not the lender?
Well, no, they're the buyer. They come in as the buyer,
Okay.
and then they have their own title company. So you have to use their title
So they're
company,
the
which they make money off of.
Yeah.
And then they pay cash to your people, but they have to, and then they okay. Let's say Lane, I love using Lane as an example. Let's say Lane is gonna buy my listing. He uses Homeward. My listing sells to Homeward for cash.
Mhm.
And then Homeward sells it to Lane.
I need to look
They help
into
Lane.
this.
They help Lane get the loan
Yeah.
together, and they sell him a loan, and that's so they don't mind fronting the cash to buy the house and save it, because in this market it's so hard to get a house if you don't have cash. So they come in with the cash.
Okay.
Now the selling agent on that, I thought this was interesting too. His Homeward took his 3%. They took his commission that I had 6% on this listing, offered 3% to the selling agent. He did not get his 3% when we closed with Homeward. They're gonna pay it to him when the buyers, when the buyers buy it from Homeward. That's when he gets it.
Sorry.
Okay. My understanding is they do 2 appraisals with Homeward. They do one really quickly in the beginning, and then they do a second one when they do the second deal, after they pay cash.
Yes, I think you're right. Now, for my involvement as a listing agent, they only did an in-house appraisal, and they offered 307, which was almost 40,000 over list, and they came up with a $300,000 in-house appraisal. And they talked to those buyers, and I guess the buyers were okay with paying over appraisal. And then once I was out of it, I think they did do another appraisal, a real appraisal.
Right. Cause I know I just sold a house and we had some homeward offers, but we took one that was a real cash offer because it went for 30,000 over list and I was worried about the appraisal.
I understand. Well, during the option period, which they make you do like a 6-day option period, that's when they do their in-house appraisal and they talk to the buyers and say, this is what we think may happen and you may have to pay over, but they're doing the loan.
Yeah, my understanding on that appraisal is they don't even go to the house. They just do it.
They don't. They do not.
So then my question is, if Homeward buys that house and then agrees to sell it to the, or the
Buyers.
the buyers, is there a chance that Homeward could sell that house to somebody else that might be offering them more money? Or is it like they're under an agreement that they have to sell it to this person?
Yeah. I think they have to sell it to this person. I mean, I think they, up front, they do all the pre-qual on that person.
Right, okay.
They know that person can buy it and they have the lender ready to do the loan for them. But
yeah, they apply for it and then they get a certain amount that they can offer.
Okay.
Like they go through an applying process and then Homeward says, okay, we approve you for this much, 400,000.
Okay.
Just like a regular lender.
well, you know,
So then they sell it to the buyer.
they
And
sell it to
buyer
the real
can
buyer.
use their lender, or they can
Or they
use
pay
their
a
own
2%.
lender if they pay 2%.
If they don't use it. Which really, I didn't think was such a bad amount of money to get cash so that you could buy the house.
Are they closing, double closing, same day?
I think on a lot of them, a lot of the buyers, they have a house to sell sometimes, and so they're marketing that house. I don't think that they're closing them back to back. I don't know that. Because that was my only experience with them. You know, I didn't want to rule these people out because of Homeward, but I didn't feel comfortable, you know, I didn't know enough about it. The other agents seemed very confident, and Homeward was really good about talking to me and all that. It was just the, and it was probably a lot of the holiday weekend was what kind of threw everything off. But she had emailed me because my sellers signed their papers on Wednesday. And she had said, we will fund that day or the next, and then we'll overnight your checks. Should be by Friday, right? Okay. No, they didn't fund it till Friday. So what they had told me, tweaked it, it did kind of, you know, and that makes you kind of go, wait a minute, don't do that. But you can't control anything about that at that point. I don't know why that happened. Never did get tough.
If you're working with the buyer who wants to go through Homeward, though, you as a realtor have to be certified through them. You have to do a training online.
As the selling agent?
Yeah. If your client is the one using Homeward,
Okay.
you have to be certified through Homeward, but it's just like I want to say it's like a 4-hour, maybe it's even a 2-hour, one or 2 hour online thing. And I think they do it once a week.
Which is a good deal. I mean, because nobody really knows. In fact, we took a different cash offer and they were neck and neck, and we took a different one. And we were out of contract with the one we took within about 12 hours because after everything got signed, Mama came through the house. Mama's not from here. Mama didn't like the house.
Is Mama living in the house?
Maybe Mama had some of the money that was going to the cash deal. I don't know. So they opted right out. And I said, that's good. You didn't tie us up. You know, that's great. And so then, so we still had all these offers. And I said, okay. And that's one reason why you stay really nice. I mean, all the agents, thank you so much. And I did. I appreciated your offer. If something happens, we'll hold it. And then, you know, we'll call you back if they want to come back to you and you haven't bought anything. So we went back to the Homeward. And in my mind, I thought, don't rule out what might be a really good sale for these people just because you don't know enough, you know. So we just kind of worked our way through it. But I'm not surprised that there's companies like that. If I had a ton of money, I'd do it too. I'd find a way to make money off my money. to help somebody get into a house. That'd be brilliant.
Is that a new program or a new thing? 'Cause, I mean, is it pretty brand new?
I think yeah.
I want to say within the last year, probably, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. But you know, you think about it now, right now is the time where cash offers are making it. You don't have to appraise. You don't have to worry about the time. I was amazed I got an FHA and I never put FHA in the MLS that will take it because it's just typically a little harder on the house and you don't have to. And, you know how you go, no, they're not even gonna think about that. You know, if you have an FHA appraisal, it stays with the house for 6 months. So if it screws up with this FHA buyer, they're in another FHA buyer that's gonna make it work for the next 6 months. And I think there's a lot of conventional programs that work pretty similar. Unless they just have a real low credit score. Which happens too. And they deserve a house too. You know what I mean?
And you hook them up with a credit repair person.
That's
We
right.
try again in 6 months.
That's right. Solve the problems. Don't just walk away from them. Help the people. You'll have some that are real easy, but most of them won't be.
I have a question about the 10 and 4.
Uh-huh.
I'm having a hard time getting 10 contacts added every day. Like, how are you meeting people, or how are y'all meeting people where you're adding so many people to your database each day?
Does it have to be new people or can it be people you already know that you're just adding?
I think it can be anybody.
I mean, like, I've already added my whole database.
Oh, like all your friends and family? Oh.
And how
So,
many did you have?
200.
Good number. You got it.
So, but now I'm struggling because I added them all at,
Yeah.
early on. Now I don't know how to get 10 in a day. I mean, like yesterday, I was mom yesterday. And so we went to a birthday party and I got 2 contacts, but that was it.
Go to the grocery store.
Huh?
Go to the grocery store.
And how? Like just,
I know.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
gotta
hit you
talk
with
to people.
I'm so sorry. I smacked your cart with my cart. Hey, you know.
If you noticed, I'm telling you.
And it's like, I'm sorry, I put my hair back. Did you- Hello. Every time.
No,
I think-
I've definitely heard that. Wear your name tag. Wear your name tag.
I think part of it is just being aware.
Sometimes
Whether
I'm
you
hiding.
reach
I'm like,
that
maybe
or
I'm
not.
probably-
If you don't have a goal, you're not
what is
gonna
it,
reach
like
it. You know how you're thinking about getting a new car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere? I think that's kind of the idea of getting 10 people.
And it's not just your database. So your database's database is also your database. So remembering to call your friends and saying, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or refer, become an agent? There's a 5th one. Buy, sell, lease, refer, become an agent.
Lease is tough though. Let's talk about lease.
I just saw a bunch of things in MLS with $1 commission. Like I was sending like somebody, they're looking like really all over because they have a lower price range, but they had $1. And I was like, you better not ask me to show you the $1 commission. Like, that's
And it was
not cool.
right, I called.
That is not cool.
It was right. Wait, that's how
I haven't seen that, but I'll tell you what my experience is, because I haven't done many leases. I mean, you gotta be referred to me by Lane, and then I will take you.
By me specifically.
Because people are as picky as they should. I mean, I understand. They're as picky about what they want to lease as they are about what they're gonna buy, except you're not gonna get, there's no money in it for you. You might make $200 and you may split that with the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, when you show them the 5th rent house and they've missed out on the first 4, and you just go, hey, you're just gonna fix them. Sorry.
You have to.
Because it's as hard right now and they're as expensive. My gosh, the rent is ridiculous.
I know, this lady,
Hi.
she called me and I'm like, I'm feeling bad for her because she's like, I just only have my Social Security and my money from whenever I sold my house and I'm looking for something under $1,000. And I'm like, oh dear Lord.
4-bedroom too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any friends that can go in with you?
Yeah, no, but she's like, I'll move anywhere around DFW, anywhere. I'm like,
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
send you some stuff. I don't know. I was like, yeah, she was like, well, I was looking in Gent, and I was like, no. She's like, I'm willing to move anywhere. I'm like, I'll look, but it's not.
Yeah, it might be worth bringing in a
scary.
rental company, saying, gosh, I just think you need to work with a company that specializes in rental.
Like an apartment finder type thing.
Well, I don't,
But I know she wants a house.
Right.
Like, she's like, it can be a tiny house. I just,
well, we do have companies that do leases. Marla Carico does rental properties. Scott Brown does rental properties. Oh my gosh, and I really like him. What is his name? He used to be with us. Chris Rostrom does rental properties. I mean, there's a lot of different places that specialize in it. And that way you get to kind of step back because you're not gonna make any money
I
anyway.
know. I was just like, I just felt bad for her. I was like, I'll try.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
But it isn't gonna get any easier just because you're in the middle of it. And it takes a lot of your time.
I
So
tell them to put in applications before we go see it, and if you get the lease, we go see it.
that's tough too, though. What if they don't like it? They've got to pay the fee.
So here's the thing, I tell them, because I used to work with Marla and we loved her, yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's where I was before this, and I was like, I need, people weren't, I don't know. Anyway, so, none of that, so, I would call them, text them, email them, send them over properties and say, here's the thing, in this market, you completely honest about this, because this market is nuts. I mean, you're not gonna find anything within your budget if you're going, oh, well, I'm gonna go see it, and I wanna take a few days to think about it. No,
There are no few days to think about it.
you have 10 minutes. So I tell them, and it's completely honest, you don't have time to think about this. You can have 20 minutes to go, look up where you're wanting to go, look up the statistics, making sure, and I tell them that because I'm not allowed to. Is it a safe neighborhood? Is it where you're wanting to be? Is it what you're needing to be around? Is it the school district? You've got 20 minutes. Here are a few possibilities that you can go look at. And I tell them we need to put in multiple applications, and if they request that you provide the application fee, then pay it up front, and then if you drive by it, I can give you the square footage, I can give you all of that information up front, so you're not having to question, oh, well, I really need to see it. You're not buying a house. You're not buying a house. You're gonna be here for a year, and then you're going to buy a house. And I have to be that pushy person because you're the realtor. You're that person that goes, I know the market, I know what's going on around it.
I don't think she's buying a house with her special. She doesn't sound like it.
Then
Yeah.
we need to be completely honest, and honestly, just if she's running you through hoops.
Well, no, I just talked to her like 2 days ago, but I just sent her some options. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, but I don't want to run all around DFW for maybe $200.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or $1.
No, exactly, or
I can't
$1.
believe
Like that
anybody
is
even put that in
offensive.
MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also been seeing a lot of houses that are like listing for 2% commission instead of like 3%.
Not a 2.5, yeah.
But really, we can't discuss that,
Yeah.
but I don't get it. But that could be part of the seller saying, this, this market is so good, this is the
I'm
fee
not
I
worried.
want to
It's
pay.
going to- Yeah.
And you know how you go. Now, see, in our office, we can't do that. You've got to offer 3%, and I like that.
Yeah, it's
I
like
wanna-
ethical, I feel, because it's like, okay, if you expect to get paid this much, you should expect to, whoever brings you that client. to compensate you.
Well, and I just paid a huge referral to a dad of a seller because he's been with Century 21 in another state forever. And he said, let's face it, you'll sell it in no time. Well, I sold the house to him. They were friends of my kids. I don't really think it came from him. I mean, you know what I mean? I think they would have called me back anyway. But am I going to argue with it? I'll pay him the referral and then I'll try and stay on, surely they know somebody that they lived here forever. Somebody knows somebody to refer to. Some of it's just doing business.
Yeah.
Anyway, if y'all have anything, I'm downstairs. You're more than welcome. Call or ask. I think all the ALC is that way. We've got a really good office staff. We've got a really good ALC. I mean, we've got a good group, so don't feel alone or like you're lost. Reach out, let's make help you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I think it's a hard business to get started in. I really do, but I like it because nothing, okay, go to your kid's baseball game. If you talk on the phone and you've got a computer, you're still working. I mean, you can be. Wayla and I got to be such good friends because we handled our clients the same way. She would call them back. I would call hers back. You know, some people don't do that. And so we started covering for each other. You know, when one would be out of town, not that it was that often. And you really don't even have to have anybody cover for you unless somebody needs to show something. You can do everything on the computer now. But, you know, there's plenty of people to help. If they don't know you need help, they don't know how to help. You know what I mean? It's just tough. But your database is where to start, in my opinion. Get all those friends and family lined up, man. Because they're the ones that are going to want to watch you succeed. And then you just let it mushroom. You got it. You've done plenty of things.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter sold Kirby vacuum.
I was with Rainbow. Love the Kirby.
Oh.
Rainbow.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I really think they get these recruits and they let them sell them to their family and then it's all over it. So she was giving us this whole spiel, right? Me and my husband. And my dog had chewed up some mold and he had none because we had a kennel too. And she's giving her whole spiel and all of a sudden he realizes it and he loses it and he leaves the room. And so Brandy looks at me after lunch and she's not she's not pushy. She's not a salesperson at all, really. And she looked at me and said, "Get him back. I got to do my clothes." Okay. You're going to have to come back. She's got to do her clothes.
Cuddy to fix this. Give me just a moment.
I know what I did. I got the bits right after that. And of course we bought the Kirby, you know, 'cause what are you going to do? They know that when they get these recruits, and then they wanted to put her in the back of a van with 2 or 3 more recruits and start taking them to neighborhoods. This was after she made no money and worked her butt off. So that was the end of that. The Rainbow is real similar though, isn't it?
It's actually water-based, which is kind of nice. So there are no allergens placed back into the air with the Kirby. There's still a bag connected to it, which you have to empty out. With the Rainbow, you can literally set it on, vacuum everything up, do the walls, the whole yard, because it comes with all of the stuff with it. My favorite part is the fact that you can mop with it, which is amazing. Oh yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. And it comes with like a 20-foot extension nowadays, so you can get the ceilings and such. It's ridiculous.
And what does it cost? New.
Right now, it's $4,500. Yeah.
That's a hard sale.
But here's the thing, if you allow yourself to use that specifically, you don't have to use any other cleaning products. It comes with, it has a humidifier, dehumidifier, it comes, I mean, just the whole machinery is an air purifier, dehumidifier, humidifier. It has all of the cleaning supplies. It comes with attachments to mop, clean carpets, vacuum, the whole 9 yards. You don't have to allow yourself to have to get this machine out to mop the floors, this machine out to vacuum, this machine out to clean the pillows. You can use one machine, get the whole house, make sure that all of the dust is out of the air, which is the air purifier, and it's got a HEPA filter on it. It's pretty cool.
Well, this would be the time when people might be receptive to it because of COVID. You know, everybody's afraid of getting everything clean and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Please take more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. It was wonderful.
Oh, you were wonderful.
Make those calls, get them in your database.
That is so true.
We're making a calls, and I had 2 business conversations yesterday because they're like
Look at this, this is cute or what? Well, this is a dog boat.
Oh.
And I gave
That is so
those, see it,
cute.
it's so cute. And then it's got, it's waterproof, but it also has windows. I don't have a whole lot of, I need to order these again. And then I went to Three Dog Bakery and got, you know, a
I
little
love
deal.
Three Dog Bakery.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Of
dog's
dog
favorite
bones.
place.
I thought that was a great idea for a pop by.